what was it that brought you to team coaching originally?
Um, Isabella was suffering fairly high levels of anxiety, and we had been advised to seek some external help. And she was resistant to, the idea of a psychologist or speaking to anyone. When I saw your post, I mean, I have obviously met you previously and had some interaction with you, which was really positive. But when I saw your post inviting the couple of pro bono sessions, I thought, well, why not? Let's see if she responds. It's a good stepping stone to just get an understanding of where her head's at and if she's actually going to engage with someone or if she shuts down. Because if she shuts down, it's not helpful to anyone. Those pro bono sessions were sensational. She really responded to you, connected, and then we spoke about moving forward with a full program, and she jumped on it. So that for me was, obviously the trigger was events happening previously, but it was a very quick response from her. That connection was very impressive. So it was an easy decision.
Oh, that's good to hear. Well, she was so because she's so lovely and she's so quiet, but reflective as well.
Yeah,
So it was she was a delight to connect with, even as she sort of held a little bit of herself back whilst she got to, which is what you want. I don't
yeah,
want people to instantly go, oh, well, I'll tell you everything because, you got to build
yeah,
some trust. So
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, but she was very open to all of the questions,
Yeah.
and all of the work we did. What changes did you notice in Isabella since working with me?
Um, Probably the primary change that I've noticed is I mentioned just before her recovery time. When
Mm,
things happen that previously derail her or made her particularly upset or anxious, it could take us weeks to get
mm,
her calm and I'll say operating at a good level again. She's quite intelligent, and so she holds a lot of thought in her head and doesn't talk about stuff. What I've seen is an increase in her ability to actually talk through things with us, and whether it's raising concerns or just saying I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling something's not right, and then the way that she's moved forward, whereas previously she would sit in the space and just hold the anxiety there, and that would impact every day of her life.
mm,
Now, what I see is she'll actually face into it and go, "Well, I've got tools, I've got strategies, things that you've worked with her on that help her process, a failed maths exam
mm,
or a situation with, a family situation that might have upset her or whatnot." So that for me is a huge step and a skill that she'll have for life. That she'll keep putting into practice in, I'm sure all aspects of her life.
mm. Oh, that's beautiful to hear. And I think particularly for our teenagers, that ability to identify what the emotion is, as you said. So something's not feeling right. What is it underneath? That tends to really help them go, oh, it's frustration or it's irritation or it's anger or it's rather than just the broad, oh, I just feel,
Yeah,
intense.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's I love that.
I
Uh,
also
mm,
I also find in some instances now, previously she would call it the cause or
yes.
the incident as the root cause of why she was feeling whatever emotion she was experiencing. But this is also encouraging her to look deeper and go, I'm responding to a situation with, I'm upset, I'm anxious, I'm angry. Um, but when she takes a step back and really thinks about it, that might just be the trigger. And
Mm,
it's not actually the underlying thing that she needs to resolve. And that's also something that's really interesting to see her start to look at and I guess reflect on and learn from. I think that's a journey like for all of us, but
yes.
she's at least started that and that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real responsibility piece, isn't it? Taking
It is.
responsibility for, because, we feel how we feel,
Yep.
but what role did we play in
Yes.
whatever's
Yep.
happened that's led us to how we feel as well?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Removes the victim mentality, which she can sometimes fall into.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot more of that change more recently to no, I'm part of this and I can actually choose how I respond and choose
Mm,
how I show up.
mm, perfect. So you said you mentioned in terms of you used to have to spend quite a bit of time helping her to navigate a situation. What therefore had did it mean both for you, for your partner, and your family to have invested in that coaching for Isabella?
Look, it's had a really positive impact for us. Personally, I spend a lot less time consoling, trying to do my own psychology 101 with her, which I'm not qualified for. But just to, keep her propped up, I'm not doing that nearly as much now. There are days where she needs a bit more support, need to
Of
remind her to go
course.
back to the tools that are available. Um, but certainly from my end, the relationship is now focused on like we have some, like she's my best friend in a lot of ways, and we have heaps of fun.
Mm,
But when you're constantly dealing with those emotions, it's very hard to keep building that relationship because you feel like you're always just providing support. For my husband, he's a stepdad to her. That's had its own journey of trying to build a relationship, and I'm seeing a lot more engagement from Bella where she's, I guess, just understanding who he is
mm,
and more proactively reaching out because she wants to have a good relationship with him. um, there's no reason there shouldn't be a good relationship. She's like, that's it's certainly welcomed in the house, but that's part of her own journey of acceptance that this is not dad. This is just another person that cares very much for me
mm,
and wants to have me as part of his family. And then even with her dad, she's I think a little bit more vocal around her needs and wants and a bit more direct, which means that she's heard. And that hasn't always been the case.
mm. And that's also a big step for any teenager to take, having, navigated all the changes in the family to be able to use her voice
Yeah.
in a constructive way.
Yes,
And she
absolutely.
was, I loved how she really leant into that. She said to me right up front that she wanted to improve her relationship with your
Yeah,
husband. And so that was such a beautiful thing to witness her leaning in and acknowledging, yeah, it might be a bit hard, but this is what I want to do,
yeah,
which was good.
absolutely.
What would you say to any other families who might have reservations or concerns about working with a teen coach?
I would say lean into it,
Yeah.
give it a go. I love the fact that you offer the pro bono. It's a great test case.
Mm,
If you don't get the chance to do that, even just having a conversation with you to see what value you can bring is huge. I think you've got such good insight and understanding of their mindset. You're independent. Like as parents, we're not.
mm,
We also respond in different situations. Things upset us or cause us to become emotional in different ways. That doesn't always help our teenager, even if we've got the best intent. But you're independent and you've got the skills and um, the knowledge and way of being able to extract information out of our teens that I wouldn't have. It would take me years to make that progress instead of months. So I do. I just say lean into it and give it a go because you'll find so much benefit, even if um, even if you only hit a surface level,
mm.
depending on what's happening with your teen. For me, Bella was gold. She responded really well. I know that's not always going to be a perfect case, but the progress that she's made is huge.
Yeah. And in such a short time as well, which
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
and that reflected both her willingness, but also your support the whole way as well, because I knew that whatever I shared back with you, you could then reinforce with her,
yeah.
which is, what makes it such a beautiful family commitment,
Thank you.
not just a one-on-one. And I've actually just gotten an external coach for my daughter now, because to your point,
Same thing.
we can't coach her as much as we want to. We can't coach our own kids, except for maybe in netball, and even then they argue with us.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Yep.
Yeah.
What worked well for you as you were supporting Isabella through the coaching journey?
I found it really helpful, the check-ins that we had,
Mm,
both leading up to the first session, giving you a bit of understanding of what I was seeing with Isabella and what was concerning me. And then the ongoing feedback that you would provide after each session, which was I always find that really interesting because there's a fine line for you around
mm,
the privacy of your client, but also sharing enough back that I could be useful in the process. And I think you did that, handled that really well. I always had enough information to know, Isabella has largely talked about these topics, and these are some tools and skills we've talked about how to handle them. That enabled me just to check in with her, or if events occurred, I could ask that question around how would Katrina get you to handle this? What advice would she give you? And that, especially in the early days, really prompted her to go, oh yeah, yeah. She told me to try this, and I'll be like, okay, let's try that. And just getting her to explain to me what she had learnt or taken from the sessions after you had given me that feedback, it gave me the right language or the right words to ask for that information from her. So that was very powerful through the program as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Getting her feedback as well, because I know some of the other teens I work with will say to their parent, "Nope, it's my time with Katrina."
Yep.
Which is
Yep.
fine as well. Every family's different, every teenager's different. But yeah, to see her be able to reinforce what she'd heard so that you could then use the language. That's a beautiful tie-in, isn't it?
Yep.
I
Yep.
love that.
Absolutely.
What was a nice surprise for you working with me as a coach?
Nice surprise. I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but you're just really easy to engage with and positive, and you see good and opportunity, and I don't think that's always um, out there in the world. So I guess, like I said, not a surprise, but a really welcomed part of the relationship that we've got. And you've used that same approach with Isabella. The fact that I know I've only sort of interacted as a separate party, but you treat her like a young adult that she
Mm.
is, and that same respect and positivity and positive outlook of things can improve. There's ways forward. That was um, pretty powerful for us.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add?
Um, just simply reinforcing, if people are experiencing, whether it's just small nuances with their teen, or if it's deeper, issues or emotions that they're not really sure how to deal with. Um, Reaching out and speaking to Katrina and doing this team program is absolutely worthwhile. Um, for us, it's been a game changer. I've really seen Bella grow, mature into her thinking, and apply the skills and the tools that she's been given. And that's, like I said, I don't think that will just be a short term benefit to her. I think that'll be a lifelong benefit. So it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.